Negar, the IAEA is sounding as optimistic as possible about this development and the level of communication. Do you share that optimism?
Well, Michelle, I think it is an optimistic step. I'm cautiously optimistic, though, because as we know, since President Trump pulled out of the deal, the Iranians have been trying to scale back their compliance to the deal, but still not leaving the deal. Yet, when President Biden came into office, he didn't start diplomacy as early as some of us had expected. And I think he missed a golden window of opportunity where he coincided with the moderate administration in Tehran. Now there's a hardline administration and a team of ideologues who have very more strict views of the West. So I think returning to the JCPOA has just been made more complicated and difficult than it was during the first 6 months of President Biden's administration.
Yeah, and it has always been this complex dance. Does the West allow Iran more freedom in return for at least some cooperation, the alternative of which could be nothing? And does Iran allow more restrictions on itself in order to get some economic relief? And this has been a very awkward and difficult dance.
It has been, Michelle, and we've seen over the years that the sanctions policy doesn't really work. Maximum pressure, in essence, failed. Yes, it succeeded in putting pressure on the Iranian people economically, but it didn't bring any policy goals as it was espoused by the previous or even current administration. So continuing that policy, that harsh policy of the Trump administration in the name of leverage, as some experts are suggesting to President Biden, I don't think is going to be successful. And there needs to be basically, like you're saying, it's a two-person dance. So both sides need to sort of try to meet somewhere in between, make more concessions to make this happen.
Yeah, there's been such uncertainty around how this new, much more hardline government in Iran would deal with even the most basic of discussions and cooperation. Does this bode well for the future of this deal, if it is to be a deal?
Well, I think, as I said, it's the road ahead is more complicated, is more complex. It looks like, though, this hardline administration is trying to bring a new era of conservatism to the Iranian politics. They have these ideas of, engagement and diplomacy and relief for sanctions, but we know that it was difficult under the previous hardline administration, which was Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. So again, I'm cautiously optimistic that there could be some room for diplomacy and engagement, but I think this administration is trying to make more of a shift to the east, towards China, Russia, and other Asian countries, and further away from the West, which is Europe and the US, and that is not great news for the JCPOA.
Yeah, difficult road ahead, but it was always going to be. Negar, thanks for joining us.